Hi, this is Quinn, and welcome to Quintech. Well, I didn't expect to have a new video this quickly, but my downstairs neighbor, my friend Taylor, he's been telling me about this system for a couple of months, 3 or 4 months really, that he had, and he bought it in an auction, and it is the Nintendo Entertainment Center, the NES Entertainment System, the NES. And it's not just the NES, it comes in this little box. It comes in a box called, what is it called? The That's why I called it the Nintendo Entertainment Center. It comes in a box called the Video Game Center that I'm pretty sure was officially licensed by Nintendo. I don't think Nintendo actually made it, but it was officially licensed and has their logo on it and everything. And what it is, it's like this little plastic box that holds the NES and your games and your controllers, and it has a little slot underneath it to hold the zapper, um, light gun controller, and it's a cool piece of vintage hardware. So he called me earlier tonight and was like, "Hey, I went by my storage. I finally got this thing out of my storage unit. Do you want to check it out?" And I was like, "Hell yeah," because I'm into all this old vintage stuff. Now, I one caveat: I have never owned a Nintendo, any Nintendo equipment. I never had an NES. I never had a Super Nintendo. I never had a Nintendo 64. I never had a um, GameCube. I never had uh, what was the next one? The the one that like grandmothers were buying. What was that called? I never had that one. I never had the Switch. I haven't owned a single Nintendo system in my entire life. I have nothing against Nintendo. I just never happened to own any. So I've always been kind of a Sega guy since back in the um, early 90s. A friend of mine, I never owned one, but a friend of mine had a Master System, and I got to play that a lot. He even had like the glasses that basically they black out the 3D glasses. They black out your left eye, then your right eye, then your left eye, then your right eye. That's how it did it. It's 3D. I don't know exactly how it works, but that's what it did. And I remember playing that. And then my first console I ever purchased for myself was the Sega Genesis. And then after that, they came out with the Sega Saturn, which I also purchased. And then after that, they came out with the Sega Dreamcast, which I also purchased. And I've loved all those systems, but I never hated on Nintendo. I just I just never owned anything by Nintendo. It's simple as that. I mean, I loved the Super Nintendo. I loved the GameCube. I love the NES. I love all these old systems. I just never owned any of them. So, anyway, I I just wanted to show off this little system and put out a new video, and I hope you enjoy um, my journey exploring this new old hardware. The, the first time I've seen it, it's the first time I've seen it, but it came from way back when. So, thanks for coming along, and I appreciate you. Thanks for joining my channel. Thanks for enjoying my content, and You have a great night, and thank you for coming along. All right. And without further ado, let's go along with my latest video. All right. Take care. Hi, this is Quinn, and welcome to Quintech. So, my downstairs neighbor, we became friends about a year ago, and he's been telling me about this for a few months, that he bought this. He bought this at some kind of auction, and it's the Nintendo Entertainment System in this original carry box. Well, it's not really a carry box. It's kind of heavy to carry. But this original box to like enclose it and keep it dust free or whatever, to stop dust from falling on. And he told me about it a few months ago, and I've been asking him, hey, can I check it out? Can I check it out? You know, I have my channel. I have my Quintech Retro channel. I love all this old technology. Can I check it out? So tonight, he finally went to his storage unit where he had it stored, and I guess dug it out and called me up and said, hey, I've got the NES. So the NES, aka the Nintendo Entertainment System, came out in the early 80s, I think 1982. I could have my dates wrong, but I think 1982 or 1981, somewhere around there is when it came out. It was an 8-bit video game system, and you know, the Atari 2600 was all the rage back then. And the graphics were so much better and blew the 2600 away. And it was an awesome system. So it became quite popular. And it survived the video game crash of 1982 that they talk about. That all the video game companies that came out around then went bankrupt and nobody was buying video games anymore. But that wasn't exactly true. People were still buying video games. People were still playing video games. But this came out around that time. And it came with this cool case. I would imagine this was not actually manufactured by Nintendo, but it was licensed by Nintendo, because it has that Nintendo logo right there. So Nintendo did allow them to make this legally. I mean, there's a lot of pirate companies. They just make stuff willy-nilly without getting licenses. This seems like it is a licensed product. So it has the Nintendo logo. And what does this say? You can't see it? Oh, it's called the Video Game Center, VGC. And it looks like the Nintendo kind of packaging and logo. So what is this? This is a box to hold your NES and all your peripherals and a bunch of games. You can hold all this stuff in here. And I don't know if there used to be a sticker here, but it looks like there might have been at one point. The sticker is not here anymore, but this is my first time really looking at this. I just got a chance to see this about an hour ago. So, what is it? It's just a box, a plastic box case that holds the NES system. So what's inside here? Oh, look at that. It's got the actual NES in here. It's got a few games. And look, it only has 3 games, But one of them is one of the most coveted games of the NES era, Metroid. And then it also has Bump and Jump. I remember playing this at the Circle K near my house when I was a little kid in the arcade. I used to love this game when I was a little kid. And Spy versus Spy. I remember having this game on my Atari 8-bit computer. So I guess it was on a lot of different a lot of different platforms. I think it was also on the Commodore 64. Look at all these different software developers that were involved with this. You got Nimco, Himco, Seika, and I can't quite see what that one is. The little one at the top. It's kind of a small logo. It's hard to read. First contact? I don't know. First something. What does it say? Can I get it to focus? The closer I get it, the more blurry it gets. That's annoying. Come on, focus. Maybe I can see that later in the video. I can't quite read it on this little tiny screen. Maybe if I expand it in my computer, maybe I can read that. But it's first something. I don't know what it is. Anyway, this is what it came with. It came with these 3 cartridges. And it came with the RF adapter. The RF adapter. This may not have been the original one. This came from Archer. Archer was a big company back in the 80s. So it's an RF adapter to plug up to the TV. Came with the original Nintendo branded power cord, power adapter. It probably has to do with the light. That's why I can't see anything. The light's too far away because I've been having problems with this camera. If the light's too bright, it gets lighter and darker and lighter and darker, especially if it's on my face. But this is the power adapter. And then it has the actual console right here. You lift the door, you put the game inside, you click it down like that, you close the door. I guess you don't technically have to close the door, but that's how it works. And this case. So it has these little these little recesses here that kind of, and it's weird. There's like 3 different places, I guess, depending on which Nintendo Entertainment System you had. Your legs could be in a different spot and a different size, but this one has these legs. And what is this? Oh, I remember this. I don't know that much about Nintendos because I never owned one. But it still has the little cover on the bottom. And it has the original feet, I'm pretty sure. It has power, reset, the 2 controller plugs. And on the back, it has the power plug port, the channel selector between 3 and 4, and the RF out. So that's all that's on the back. So this is the Nintendo Entertainment System, NES. And this case, again, I think it's officially licensed, but probably not made by Nintendo. And these feet are kind of recessed. They're kind of recessed, and they fit down into that little hole of the case. Come on, get out of there. Get in there. Oh, there it goes. And then it's solid. It fits right into the little hole. And it stays stable. And you can still plug your controllers there. It also comes with the light gun. Oh, that has a nice click to it. This is the first time I've actually touched this since the early 80s. I haven't touched one of these since the early 80s. So it obviously has a spring in there. You can hear it. And then it just plugs up to the controller plug. So he has the gun. It's funny, he doesn't have any light gun games in this packaging. The original system came with a sort of matchup. It came with Duck Hunt and Super Mario Brothers on the same cartridge, and you could select between the two games. He doesn't have that, but this is what he got in his auction. So he's got the gun, he's got two controllers, your original Nintendo controller. It's got start, select, B and A. I don't know why B's on the left and A's on... Oh, I guess because they're Japanese. Because Japanese people, they write from the left to the right. Now I understand. I finally get it. Why the A's on that side and the B's on this side. Because it came from Japan. And that's how they write in Japan. They start from the left and write this way. And other cultures do that. I think Jewett, if you write in Hebrew, it's also left to right. If you write in Chinese, it's left to right. Right to left. I got it mixed up. You write from that side towards this side. Left to right. Yes. So that's probably why the Nintendo ended up with A on this side and B on this side. And start and select and the D-pad. And they kind of invented that. I don't know if they invented it, but they certainly were they started the whole D-pad thing with this console. So it comes with two D-pads, 3 games, the console itself, the light gun, which was called the Zapper. The Zapper, the power cord, and the RF module to plug up to your TV. So it came with basically everything you needed to play this video game system. I think he told me it doesn't work right. It does power on, the light comes on, but it doesn't give a proper display. So there's something wrong with this unit, but it's from the early to mid 80s, so it's 35 to 40 years old. It's an old system, so I'm not surprised that there might be a problem with it, but I'm just showing it off, and it's cool that I get to play with it and actually put my hands on it. And it comes with this cool case, the Video Game Center case that is sort of matches it. So this is a really cool video that I'm enjoying doing this. I love this. And this case comes with a reserved little spot here for the zapper gun. And yeah, it's awesome. So thanks for coming along on my latest video. I hope you enjoy it. This is the Nintendo Entertainment System with the Video Game Center box. It's got the official Nintendo logo right there. And it's a way to keep your video game system safe and free from dust and all in one place. So, thanks. All right. Take care.